Welcome back, everyone. We're very excited to continue sort of the opening of this event with one alumna out of the 2007 class, Timea Reicher. You just heard it. She was voted most powerful female manager in Slovakia by Forbes. Obviously, that's an award that's serious and relevant. And she's part of the board of Slovnaft, one of the largest companies in Slovakia. And the funny thing is, if you speak to Timea and ask her about her past 15 years ago, she never thought that she would ever be in a position like this. We're very excited to have her today speaking to all of you. Timea, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and hello, everyone.
As I said, 15 years ago, you didn't think you would ever be in a board, you would ever see the inside of a boardroom, you would be a board member of a large corporation. Now, Slovnaft is making 2.7 billion in revenues, euros every year. You run gas stations, more than 250, I think, oil refineries, so it's a big deal. What happened between not thinking you would ever make this to most powerful female manager in Slovakia? What happened in between? Why was this such a weird thing for you?
Well, definitely lots of work on the way, but lots of experiences as well, because I started very interestingly this job at the same time when I applied for the EMBA class. So it was March 2006 when I started working in Slovnaft, and it was the same period of time when I started my MBA course. And I have to say that these 2 years of my life, or a year and a half, was really as like an express train. So I was just following the movements of my life and try to somehow to keep up the work and also my studies. And definitely it somehow, this once you start working in a multinational company, it really gives you lots of opportunities to look around at the company. So the first 2 years I was basically running the CEO's office with lots of agenda, lots of different materials. So you really make up your mind about what this company is doing and which part of the business is something which is more relevant to you and somehow getting closer to you. Then I moved to internal services within the company, and I was doing it for another 4 years, meaning having 120 subordinates, running procurement, big investments projects, and internal services. So this was quite a big task, part of the job. And afterwards, basically, I moved to retail, and this is for the last 5-6 years that I've been responsible for this part of the business within Slovnaft. So there are lots of experiences and lots of work.
But we have this idea. Often successful people are seen as people that set goals in advance, 10 years ahead. I will be there, and then you take the steps, and every decision you make needs to lead you there. But you make it sound as if this just kind of happened along the way. Like, talk to us. Was this something you wanted but didn't think you could get, or was this something you never thought you wanted? This success in a very traditional way. How was it for you?
Well, I do believe that there was a lot of coincidence as well on the road, but of course there were lots of results of your work. So once you start working in a certain department and you really bring results, then the management really sees it. And once the company is really satisfied with your job and satisfied with the way of thinking and how you are turning different departments' work in a different angle, and it brought success in money terms at the end of the day, in financial terms, then of course this is something where this road kind of opens up and really creates opportunities which you were really not thinking of in ahead. So this is something which I find out that once I started doing services, even it was internal services, I realized that I kind of like it, because you need to please people at the end of the day, but you need to somehow create the regulations, create the processes, create all the conditions about that. And when I was offered to take this retail department, and I had beneficial 2 days to make up my mind whether I will take it or not, then without too much experience running really retail and running really business, I took it, and I have to say that I really find myself in this segment because I love it. I love the way that you, on a daily basis, you create and you make lots of decisions, and you really see the results of your work in many contexts. Whether it's a financial, results, whether it's the people's appreciation, whether it's the reputation of the company, whether it's a brand score of the company. So this is something which really shows you that whether you do a good job or not that good job.
When you started as head of retail, the department itself had not the best reputation, or to be more frank, it had a horrible reputation actually. You managed to turn this around. What was so bad about the department before you took over, and what were the changes you implemented to sort of improve this reputation internally and externally?
Yes, it's very interesting because you know that in once you talk about Slovnaft, the refinery, then everyone, all the people, the inhabitants of Slovakia or other travelers, they can see us through the petrol chain network, and they don't really see the millions of investments into the refinery and the petchem business. On the other hand, our petrol chain business was really not having a good reputation, and as you were saying, it really had a very bad reputation. I remember it was 2015 May when I took over this position, and in August we made a big acquisition. We bought additional 41 stations of Ajib, and I could really read the comments of the people, and they were not nice, I can tell you. And
was this the brand Slovnaft itself, or was
yes.
it just a retail?
No, it's the brand. Well, as I said, that they normally connect the Slovnaft brand through petrol chain, because in Bratislava people do know that there is a refinery behind the gates, but apart from Bratislava, all the rest of the people, they can really see us through the petrol chain. And we really had a very bad reputation that we didn't have a unified assortment in the shop. The personnel of the shop was really unpleasant. The toilets were not clean, so all the rest. So you can imagine all the negative comments, and the offer was really not good. The only thing which was good and which was quite a good base for me, that our quality of the fuel was always taken by the customers, that it's really produced in the company, in the country, and it's a very, very good quality of the fuel. So this was something which we started building on, this good reputation of the fuel, because all the rest we needed to change. And then we said that if the fuel is okay, then creating quite large portion of the business, then we just need to clean up all the rest. But of course, it's very easy to say it in this way, but it really required many cultural changes, many process changes, many IT changes, and whole the model had to be reworked. But if you can say that within these 5 years, we managed to double the EBITDA of the company, at least for the retail segment.
As we said in the intro, you graduated in 2007 from the VU Executive Academy. What was it? You were already in a leadership position, but not as high up as you are now. How did it affect your career, and how did you make the decision to actually do an MBA? What played into that?
Well, after my university studies, I really saw that I really wanted to do something extra, some kind of extra education. And what I really did like about the Vienna MBA course, that it really required some practical knowledge already, or experiences to work in a field, and it was just after 2 years when I could really submit my enrollment, or basically my document to start this EMBA course. And I think it's a very clever approach of the MBA, because fresh graduate, we learn lots of things, but if you cannot really connect the dots, then you are lost in the wood, because you really need to understand that what are all those studies about. And once I started the MBA course, then all the dots could really get to the place where they belonged. And it really, all these different topics and different people and different connections and information from either from the teachers, either from the university itself, either from the colleagues who we were in the same class. It really broadens up your view, how you think of life, your company's life. and really helps you at the end of the day to understand where you belong.
And if we look at leadership discussions, at corporate discussions in general, there's two big hot topics at the moment. One is diversity and one is sustainability, and that's sort of dominating the entire debate. Now you're one of two, I think, female managers at Slovnaft Sport, working in a company that's running oil refineries and gas stations. How do these two topics play a role in your career personally, but also sort of in the attention you're getting from media, from the public in general?
Well, I think that once the management is opened up to this topic, to have a very diverse team and have women colleagues, even in the refinery and petchem business, which is not really, it's more a member than a women member. And I think that our CEO was quite, rational in this topic, that it was always about capabilities and not about, gender point of view, or it was never the selections whether a manager or a board member will become a board member. It was really based on the capabilities and the results of that candidate, or you can say it this way. And it really does help. Even in retail segment, if I look at just my own department, there is a it's very interesting because I have never really made these statistics on my own, but lately I was in a different panel discussion and I asked my HR colleagues, so what is the ratio in my department? And she said it's 49-51. So this is quite equal. And I can really see and feel that the department works very well. And this diverse team, everyone really can create value. And even if you don't look at it just from gender point of view, but from age point of view, we really do have very young colleagues, very fresh graduates, and some mid colleagues, and also older colleagues. And I think that this is a healthy organization once you run the business in this way.
And the topic of sustainability for
Sustainability for Slovnaft, it's key. I mean, we are really running a refinery. So at the end of the day, all the processes, sustainability, it has to be. So this is something which was always a discussion, because for the refinery and the petchem business, you need really a sustainable production, sustainable processes, and within retail, you need the innovations, you need these novelties to somehow bring it back, and have to combine these two topics. But I think it's now, with our good strategy and vision, it's pretty much falling the puzzle pieces into the right places, and so we really rely on sustainability in a way that we need to provide business, we need to create quality, we need to have very good service for the customers, and this is coming from the refinery until the very last drop of fuel you put in the tank, and or you grab your coffee. This is something which is, this value chain has to be in a very sustained way to be set. Otherwise, it's going to fall into pieces. And nowadays, it's very interesting that everyone took us that we are the biggest refinery and one and only refinery in Slovakia. But at least now, nowadays, we are communicating that we are the biggest coffee chain in Slovakia, because we are running on our petrol chain the best coffee in Slovakia. And that's very nice that we can now proudly say that we have the biggest coffee chain in Slovakia.
Before we go to questions from the audience, and here again, please use the Slido chat to ask your questions, to use this opportunity to participate in this. Before we go to questions from the audience, 15 years ago, you didn't think you would be where you are today. Looking ahead 15 years, and it's called Stronger Tomorrow today. Is there something that you want to reach? Is there a position you're after? Do you want to go abroad again? Do you want to be CEO of Slovnaft? What's the vision for you?
Well, definitely, I mean,
you have an existing CEO, so you're not challenging him, but what's the idea?
No, definitely, I do not have any kind of ambition to become a CEO, because I think that the guy is sitting at the right place currently. I really did understand that retail is something which is which is very close to my heart. And even though it really requires lots of work and lots of decisions and lots of visionary thinking and lots of execution at the end of the day and transformation and all that stuff, which is connecting to really, you know, from the thinking to become real value for the company. This is something which is very close to my heart, and definitely I would like to stay in retail or something which is connected to retail, whether it's this segment or a different segment. And lately, what I kind of like also these you know, helping others and have to create value for the society. And probably I'm getting older, and this is something which is now turning in my head, that some kind of this portfolio which I have never tried, and it's about really helping others. This is something which is getting closer to my heart lately.
All right. Now we see what interests you. I'm pulling out my phone, not because I'm bored, but because my team is sending questions, hopefully, if you guys participated. So there's a lot of questions. All right. Was it always your dream to be a manager? Was this a profession choice or something that spoke to you as a young female? Was this something you envisioned as a, 15-year-old maybe? Or did it just happen naturally?
Somehow I think that I had it inside myself, that I was maybe not in a word like manager. I have never said it out loud that I would like to become a manager, but some kind of capabilities I had inside myself, and I always like working with people and creating some kind of value. So, and as I was quite strong always in execution and somehow connecting the dots, this just came very easy for me, that I really became a manager without dreaming about this word, and without really of this professional that I will be a manager. I always liked working with money in terms with finances, with that have to create value. So this was always something which was very very close to me, and also the execution part, and this really created this managing role.
There's also a question here. How do you handle your work-life balance? Is there one? Do you have a work-life balance?
I need to have, as I have a 10 years old daughter, and of course for her I'm a mom, and who needs to cook, and lately we have a dog, and I don't know how it became, because 3 weeks ago, and I think it's the result of the pandemic situation that we have a dog. So I have to function at home as well. I try to balance it in a way that, of course, you cannot switch off your head, and you come home, drive home, and you are still working. And sometimes when you are cooking or when you are cleaning, and you can still create some very good thoughts. And my colleagues told me the other day that when did you come to this idea? And I said, when I had a minute with myself. So, but I try to balance it in a way that I'm quite a hard worker, that's true, but I always tell to my team that you have a family life, and you need to balance it. If you are not going to be happy in your family life, then you are not going to have results. So I do not expect from anyone to be at work after 5 o'clock, because no, they need to go home, because whether they have families, whether they have hobbies. So this kind of cultural change management and mindset management is something which I'm representing at my work place as well. And so I need to walk the talk. So I need to show them that yes, I'm leaving the office around 5ish, because I do have family, and even though the head is still working, but but the mails are not going to reach you after that. So.
I have another question that I think is especially relevant and interesting, asking pointed at you. It says, do you like getting media attention, and how much should one share with the public as someone in your position? And I'm saying this is especially interesting because you said that you don't feel 100% at ease in these situations, which is completely not understandable because you're doing obviously a great job. How much should you share? How much personal side of you should you? How much is profession and how much is it also valuable to share? I don't know, stories about your daughter at work or in the media. What's your perspective on this?
I really do not like the press attention. I have to say that this is something which is really not my strongest side, and I think that this is my weak side. I always say that because I'm saying that I was created for work and not to present. So this is my slogan, which normally I'm using, and it's if I can avoid this kind of situation, then I do avoid it. I have to say that this is. Of course, I do appreciate your invitation, but this I do struggle with.
But
this.
how much is it part of the job being a board member at Slovnaft? Is it part of the job profile? Do you have to do it sometimes?
No.
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 Okay.
No. And I wouldn't even love this part of the job.
But it's good that you're leaving your comfort zone, and thank you so much for being here. Before we wrap this up, I have two questions, and since we're short on time, I would ask for short answers.
Okay.
One of them was from the community and one is from myself. Who's your role model? Is there someone in business, in the professional life, that you look up to, that you aspire to be? Is there someone that comes to mind?
I think it's a combination. The time when I started this work in Slovnaft, the CEO, he was a very strategic thinking CEO, and for me it was very interesting to understand how his visionary thinking really works. So this is some kind of lessons learned from him. But of course the execution part was a different story. So it was very interesting to see this, and lately I'm listening to these coaches and getting some kind of ideas from that. So I cannot really say that it's just one person or two persons. It's a kind of a combination of different informations which I'm getting, and it's not really a human being as one piece of human being. So.
I'm just realizing that I set my watch a bit wrong, so
Okay.
we still have a few more minutes, so we
Right.
can go
Okay.
back to the questions, and then I have my final questions, which I'm keeping because I hope it's a good final question. Martin Atassi, finally have a name, which is nice. Thank you, Martin. Congratulations to an extraordinary career.
Thank you.
You did a general international MBA. Which takeaways from the MBA were most relevant for you in the last years? What was it that you learned that you could really apply in your job from the MBA?
I think this broader view of looking at topics from different angle and examining and getting so much information from different angles. I never did marketing, and in a MBA course, of course, we had a financial topic, we had a marketing topic, we had different topics, and this is which I'm using in my daily job, because you need to understand from different angles the stories and how they are interacting with each other. So this MBA and the topics just broadened up my view on the things which we are daily doing and the decisions we make.
There's just questions coming in left and right. I think it's an interesting one, and I'm not 100% sure if you can answer it, but I'm still going to ask a question. What do you think about the value of MBAs, especially after COVID? Is this, like what you experienced during COVID, something you can learn in a classroom, or did it somehow prepare you for this?
Well, as I finished my MBA quite a while ago, as we said, this topic was really not present in the class that time, and I believe that this new normal will bring it into the classrooms as well, because it really created this innovative thinking and really very quick decision making and humanity. So this is, the whole business was somehow transferred into humanity part, and have to mainly focus not on the numbers but on protections of the people, of your employees, of your. So this is something which definitely will be taught or will be present in the classroom. I can imagine that, but that time when I was doing my course was not really relevant. This topic, and
we will touch upon this again in the panel discussion later today. But taking a bit of it now, what's the thing you've learned in the last 15 months, which were for all of us unprecedented? What was it that you didn't know before that you learned during the COVID period about yourself, about your job, about work in general? I don't know, something a lesson that you learned that you didn't think would be possible before.
Well, I think that the biggest learning was that we really, went to home office type of work, and we could never really imagine that you can really run a network of 54 stations from your home. This was something unexpected, which we did not really thought of, and also this how much we really put much more focus on this humanity, as I said, and not on the financial terms. Even though you know that you are in the positions to run the business and create value and bring the business plan figures, but our thinking was really rapidly changed, and how much we could be supportive. You know that everything which normally in a company took ages to arrange, and somehow it could really processed very very quickly. And we are quite a traditional company. We are not just having this history of refinery and the processes. It's not really a very innovative company in terms of IT, and this is something which had to be changed, and we could really create value even during this period when we did not really focus on first place on this figures and so on.
But you're not a, let's say you're not a software company. You're an industrial company with physical operations. How was it managing home office with people that are on site, that are in production sites and refineries? Gas stations stayed open, I think, during COVID. How did you manage this imbalance of blue collar and white collar workers?
Yeah, it was quite a topic which the management was struggling with, because you can never really equally treat the blue colors and the white colors. And even though, as a good parent or a good manager or a good, stakeholder of the company, you should treat equally the people and the employees of the company. And this was quite a struggle, and is still because we, as administrative workers or white collars, of course, we went to a home office type of work, and we had to keep the spirit in the blue colors, that somehow to support them, that we did many actions to protect them. And afterwards, there was a decision that the managers need to come back, because the manager's visibility has to be present in the company. So for me, it was just a very short time that we really worked in a home office type of work, and we really had to show towards the people that we are present here with you, in order that the blue colors will somehow, at least feel it and sense it in a different way. But I can really see that in a new normal, people are really requesting this kind of new set of working method. And at least this is what the HR colleagues are announcing us, that now the white collars are definitely will push on this topic later, and there's definitely not going to be the same way of working as we did used to work, and now we need to change our mindset to this different approach.
All right, now actually the final question. I will set my clock right after this. As it is a reunion, after all, you didn't graduate in 2006, but still in that area. Are you still in touch with your classmates? Are you still in contact with the people you graduated with, or is this something you want to pick up again, maybe through this event or in the future?
It's very interesting, because I'm in contact with some of them. I cannot really say that on a monthly contact, but we reach out to each other on a not regular basis, so we know about each other. But I haven't heard from some of them, so I'm really looking forward to see them and to talk to them if there's going to be a chance.
All right. So if it's not in this case, reach out to Timea if you graduated with her. If not, then obviously the breakout sessions and the virtual happy hour are there for this. Thank you so much, even though you don't like the spotlight. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for the experiences, and we will see each other again in the panel discussion later today with some other panelists where we can pick up some of the things you just shared and mentioned, and maybe get some more perspectives on them. Timea, thank you so much for the time being.
Thank you, Klaus, and thank you, everyone.